Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear. I am the Director of Operations for BNI Arizona, and each week I come to you providing a weekly education nugget called Wisdom Wednesday that counts as one chapter education for watching. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's edition. We are at the end of June, guys. Make sure that you are getting all of your June numbers in, because all the numbers are based off of the last active meeting of the month. So we always want to make sure that we are getting all of our numbers in, and it's all based off of the individual timing for each specific chapter. So, for example, if your chapter meets on Wednesdays from 9:30 to 11, then your month would end on the last Wednesday of the month at 11 a.m. So it's all based off of the time that your specific chapter ends on the last meeting of the month. It always confuses members, especially since a lot of people assume that it's based off the last day of the month, not the last meeting of the month. So every single number in BNI Connect is always associated to each individual's chapter's day of the week. So if your chapter meets on Wednesdays, all of the PALMS report numbers, which is the report that keeps track of all of the activity, all of the PALMS are only posted on Wednesdays for a Wednesday chapter. Similarly, Tuesdays are on Tuesdays, Thursdays on Thursdays, and our Fridays on Friday. So we always want to keep that in mind. It's always based off of your personal chapter's meeting. Now, right now is leadership and support team transition preparation time, because the transition doesn't happen until October 1st. So you may be thinking, well, why are we filling out the nominations now when it doesn't happen until October? And the reason is there is a lot of stuff that happens on the back end to prepare for that transition. And the more time that we allow the leadership teams to, one, interview the people who have self-selected and not been nominated for each of the different roles, it helps. Because if we push it too close to the date, then everyone's frantic and it just gets too crazy. So this is why we started in June. Now, we did send out the nomination form, guys. So I sent it out on June 9th. I also sent it out on Monday. We still have quite a bit of members that have not submitted their nomination form. So I did post on the members only page, guys, the link to the nomination form. Although it was due 2 days ago on the 23rd, the link is still active. So please, 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 the reason why I started to put the due date on the 23rd, because I know we're all busy business professionals, and I built in a little bit of wiggle room. So you're welcome. So please, guys, if you have not submitted your nomination form, please do so. Your feedback is extremely important for your chapter. One, to nominate who you feel would make the best next president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. But on the flip side, that's not all that nomination form is for. So the other part of it is also selecting what you personally want to help support the chapter in. That piece makes this whole transition process 1,000 times easier for your current leadership team members and the new incoming leadership team members, because the more that we can, one, know exactly what you want to do to help support the chapter in, the better that we can then select, hopefully, one of those roles that you're interested in. Because ideally, guys, every single member can have a role in every single chapter. There's enough roles to go around for everyone, and when everyone's doing a little piece of the puzzle, it creates huge success for a chapter. It's not just selecting a few members here, a few members there. Even Paragon with the 70 members, every single member has a role, guys. So please, please, please take this seriously. You want to make sure that you're, one, creating a bigger impact for your chapter, which will then create a bigger impact for your business. But two, it'll also help you build and kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit. I was a huge, I still am an introvert, but I was an even bigger introvert when I started BNI. And I utilized the leadership and support team roles to get out of my comfort zone and really to kind of get outside the box a little bit. So if you are one of those people that are definitely afraid of public speaking, aren't really comfortable just sparking a conversation with someone out of nowhere, hey, guess what? Visitor host would be perfect opportunity to get out of your comfort zone, because then you have to act as a physical host for your chapter meeting. So that way when visitors come in, you're the smiling face, and then you get to introduce them around to different members of the chapter. So you have a task that is actively getting you out of your comfort zone. Now, with the different leadership and support team roles, there's also different extra visibility for you and your business available for that. So leadership team members, you have different speaking opportunities within the chapter meeting. When you're prepared every week, when you show up on time, when things are running smoothly, that's a really positive reflection of you and your business, not just you and your chapter. So think of ways of how you want to grow personally and professionally, and figure out how to mirror that with some of the leadership and support team roles. Because I've even had a lot of feedback over the years from members who have served different leadership team roles and support team roles, to where they learned different aspects to where they could incorporate some of those pieces into their own business, which is just phenomenal. So you never know what things that you could learn along the way that could have a positive impact on your business. And I love that Nate Dominguez always recites Bill Bonnell's quote, and it's, what's good for your business is good for BNI, and what's good for BNI is good for your business. And this goes along with all of the leadership and support team roles. And again, guys, when everyone does just a little bit, it helps in a big way for every chapter. Because if you have just a few members doing everything, they're going to get burnt out. So make sure that you're actively putting in your feedback, actively participating in a role. Don't just be a 90-minute member and just show up and hoping to get something out of it. You want to put the little extra effort to help assist your chapter in different ways. And what that looks like is totally up to you. And that's why we have those nomination forms, so that way we can learn where you would best shine in the chapter to help support on different levels. Now, how this process works, guys, because I've had a lot of questions, and I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. So when it comes to the nominations, they are not votes. It is more so feedback for the leadership team, because when we get all of those nominations, all of that data is then going to go to your leadership team, as well as being CC'd with your chapter director. Now, with all of those nominations that come in, guys, I created an individual spreadsheet for every single chapter. Now, please, please, please submit your stuff, so that way it'll make the effort creating the spreadsheets even that much worth it. So submit your stuff if you haven't already, and I'll include the link in the comments on this, just in case you don't see the post on the members only page. I'll keep posting the link everywhere, but if you guys could submit all the stuff this week, that would be greatly appreciated. Because then what happens next is the leadership teams will review the nominations and the personal selections for the different roles. And then the start of it is they're going to start interviewing their top candidates. So it doesn't mean that the person with the most nominations automatically gets a spot. What it says is that there's a lot of members that would love to see that member in a leadership position. Now, with that feedback, that tells the leadership team that that member could be a great candidate to interview for the spot. Leadership teams do interview for the spots. It's super important. So once they select the top members to interview for the president's spot, they're going to interview them. And then the leadership team, along with the director, is going to select that new president. Then, it's kind of like a tier step effect. Then we bring in that new president into the mix with the current leadership team and the director to help then pick the vice president. Then, with that new vice president into the mix, now the group then picks the secretary-treasurer. It's important to make sure that the incoming president has feedback on the new VP and secretary-treasurer. That's why chapters should not just select all three roles all at once, because again, you want to make sure that it's tiered in a way to where you the incoming team has feedback to ensure that that team is going to work really well together. Because when you have a cohesive leadership team, it's going to create even more success for the chapter. So this is why it's tiered in a certain way. Now, once the leadership team is picked, now that new leadership team gets to then start picking the support team roles. Now, it's important for that incoming leadership team to lean on the current leadership team for feedback regarding who to place in the different roles, because there are certain personalities that fit better in certain roles. So it's very strategic in a way. So the leadership team always gets picked first. Then I encourage the new vice president, along with the rest of their team and with feedback from the current leadership team, to then pick the membership committee. Leadership team first, then membership committee. Those are the two most important pieces of the puzzle. Then we can start filling in all of the other leadership and support team roles. Now, there is a timeline associated with each of these pieces. However, chapters can move faster than the timeline, but they can't move slower than the timeline, because what's going to happen is once all the leadership and support teams are selected, we want to allow enough time for all of the members that are going to be assisting in those new roles time to sign up for one of the 3 trainings that's going to be in September. So it's important. All leadership and support team roles coming into their role, and even if you're a brand new chapter and you just launched and all the roles are already, that literally were just selected, you're going to be serving a little bit longer of a term. But I also encourage everyone to go through leadership and support team training in September, because it's going to update on all new information, and we have our Business Coach Zanzibar giving a lot of great value and education during those trainings as well. So there's going to be 3 dates in September that those trainings are going to be conducted, and they are going to be on Zoom this year. We started looking into locations, and it is a challenge to find a big enough location, because we literally have to train about 1,500 plus members. So there's going to be 3 dates in September. It's important that all leadership and support team members sign up for one of those 3 dates. You don't have to sign up for all 3, just one of those 3 dates, because all of those 3 trainings are going to be the same information on all 3. And we will have breakout rooms specifically for each of the leadership and support team roles. So that way there's going to be a big general session with the business coach, providing a lot of value and information. And then it'll go into breakout rooms specifically targeting each of the leadership and support team roles. So we're really excited about rolling these bigger trainings out. Instead of just me doing all of the training, you're going to hear from different voices, different people, different trainers, and it's going to be a really, really great time. So those dates will be posted on the calendar shortly, so that way once people get their roles assigned, they can go in and pick one of the 3 dates to attend. So again, it's going to be September 12th, 15th, and 19th at different times, but it'll be on Zoom to make it more convenient for everyone to be able to jump in and attend one of those 3 sessions. So that is the process, guys. So again, if you haven't submitted your nomination form, please, please, please go submit it today. It literally will take you 5 minutes just to go in, nominate the top peeps for your leadership team roles, and then go in and select the top 3 roles that you personally want to help support the chapter in. And there's also a spot to leave extra feedback as well. Again, the more you participate, the more visibility and credibility it'll build for you and your business, and the more success it'll help create for your chapter, because it is a team effort. It's not the president's chapter, it's not the vice president's chapter, it's every member in that chapter's chapter. So you want to take ownership of the chapter. You want to make sure that you're as much involved as possible. So don't be a 90-minute member and make sure to select one of those top 3 roles. If you don't select one, if you don't submit your nomination form, it just means that you're open to any role possible. So the more you submit the feedback and let us know where you want to help out, the easier it'll be to place in those different roles. So if you have any questions, let me know. I've sent out lots of emails. If you didn't get the email, just let me know. I can forward it over to you. And then I will include the link in the comments so that way you can submit your nominations if you haven't done so already. I appreciate all of you that have already submitted your nominations, and for all of you that are about to submit your nominations. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys so much again for joining me on today's Wisdom Wednesday. And as always, go log one, Chapter Education Unit, for watching. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week and an amazing 4th of July if I don't see you guys next week. Have a good one, guys.